Trying to navigate these new GST changes has been like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube in the dark. I was scouring the internet trying to find information about the new GST rebate for eligible first-time homebuyers, and honestly, it was so scattered and impossible to find. I was diving deep into Government of Canada website searches, CRA information, and paperwork that was just way too much and too complicated. It's been way too hard to find clear information. Everything is buried in government jargon, but I've been searching and searching, and I've worked hard to actually help it all make sense. Since we're friends, I wanted to sit down and chat through it all with you in this video. If you're a first-time home buyer that has either purchased new construction property anywhere in Canada, or you're considering purchasing new construction, this video is going to let you know all about who is eligible to receive the new GST, new construction home rebate, how the sliding scale works, and even if you've entered into a contract prior to the big announcement, how you still might be able to save upwards of $50,000. If that all sounds good and you want to learn about it, let's get into it right now. You only get one chance to buy or sell your next home. Let's get it right. Hey, my name's Darren. I'm a real estate professional right here in the South Surrey and White Rock area in British Columbia. And I meet people like you all the time from this YouTube channel looking just to find out how to either do things better, get help being successful in either buying or selling a home, or that just have general questions on the real estate market. And that's exactly why I created this channel, to help you understand everything going on, not only in the communities of South Surrey, White Rock, and anything going on in British Columbia real estate, which is always a wild ride. That said, if you need help navigating your own situation, you can connect with me and my team in the link below of this video, and we'll help make sure that you make your next move with confidence. Now, before I get into the how, I want to tell you about the story of how we even got here, because this didn't just happen. And hey, if you don't want the history lesson here, just check the description of this video. You can skip ahead to the parts that are most relevant to you, but you should know this announcement. It was actually the crown jewel of the last federal election. Cast your mind back to early 2025. The housing crisis was reaching a breaking point. Would-be or potential prime minister incoming, Pierre Poilievre, and the Conservative Party were hammering away at the government at the time, promising to axe the tax and specifically vowing to eliminate GST on new homes under $1 million. It was a massive campaign pillar that really put the pressure on. Then Mark Carney stepped in as the new Liberal leader. This was a high-stakes political chess match. Poilievre had the momentum, but Carney basically matched him move for move on housing. He ran on the promise that he'd go even further to make home ownership a reality for the younger generation. And in case you didn't know, Mark Carney won that election. He is now our prime minister because of promises just like this one. He took office and immediately followed through, turning that campaign what if into the actual law that we have today. It's one of those rare times where a heated political battle actually resulted in $50,000 staying in your pocket, at least potentially. Now, it's worth noting at the time, Pierre Poilievre was running under the guise that GST would be eliminated on new construction for everyone. However, the changes that actually happened only apply to eligible first-time home buyers. More on that in a moment, though. So here's the basic deal. When you buy a brand new home, you usually pay 5% GST. On a $1 million home, that's about $50,000. That's pretty terrible, right? Like, that's a lot of money. But under these new rules, if your home is $1 million or less, you get the full 5% back. And that's a total tax relief. If it's between $1 million and $1.5 million, you still get a rebate, but it starts to slide down as the price goes up. And if you're over $1.5 million, well, bad news for you, because unfortunately the rebate hits zero. The most important part and takeaway, this is specifically for new construction. So we're talking pre-sales, new builds, or even if you're building it yourself, and you have to actually live in it. No house flipping with this one. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Okay, what's the exact math for a $1.2 million home? Or what if I'm building it for myself? Well, instead of making you do a long division on a napkin, I actually put a GST rebate calculator on my website, along with the calculations and the math, because number one, they are terrible to find and incredibly difficult, but I wanted to make it as easy for you as possible to see exactly how much cash you might be getting back. I'll leave a link link to that calculator in the description below this video, or you can find it by searching GST rebate in the blog section of my website. This is also where I really break down all the eligibility stuff that we're talking about today. Just a quick refresher on the fine print as well, so you don't get caught off guard. Generally speaking, here is who's eligible. But of course, before we touch on that, you're smart and you understand that this is just general advice. You should always speak to a CPA or your real estate lawyer to get your own specific situation figured out. That said, for the basic eligibility, you and your partner must not have lived in a home that you've owned for the last 4 years. You also have to be a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident and at least 18. And finally, your purchase agreement was signed on or after March the 20th of 2025, what we're going to call the magic date. Why do we call that the magic date? Well, before I tell you exactly why and why that date's important, if you're someone that's considering buying a home, whether it's in the areas that me and my team serve in Surrey, White Rock, or even the surrounding municipalities, it could be actually anywhere in British Columbia or even anywhere in Canada, you're going to want to grab our most updated brand new copy of 18 grants and rebates available to homeowners and home buyers just like yourself. It is packed with hard to find, buried, and just completely confusing jargon, home incentives, and free money that is being offered that is just way too difficult to source out. So we found everything from federal, provincial, and municipal and put it all into one spot, explained everything, and we even included the link. So if you want to grab a copy of that and make sure that you get all the money back that you are deserving of, just like kind of like what we're talking about in today's video, you can find a link below in the description of this video to download that right now. Okay, so why do we call March the 20th, 2025 the magic date? Well, this is because this is where things get a little bit tense. If you're looking at a contract right now, one that you've signed previously, the date on the top is everything. Why is that? Well, the official cutoff is March 20th, 2025. Some early reports said the 19th, but the final law confirmed the 20th. Think of this date as a massive line in the sand. If you signed a contract to buy new construction before March the 20th, 2025, I'm so sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but you fall under the old rules. Even if your house isn't finished yet, even if you haven't moved in, if that signature happened on March 15th, as an example, you're likely capped at the old rebate amount if you even qualify for one at all. But if you signed on or after March 20th, 2025, you are in the new world. You just hit the lottery. You are a person that may be eligible for that massive $50,000 rebate. I have had people ask me, can't I just cancel my old contract and sign a new one to get the money? Well, honestly, be really careful there. The CRA is smart. They have anti-avoidance rules. If they think you canceled and re-signed just to get the tax break, they can actually deny the whole thing. This is where we get into the real talk part of this video as well. These red flags that I'm going to share with you right now are the difference between a smooth move-in and a massive unexpected tax bill from the CRA. And I need to give you a bit of friend-to-friend warning here because there's some major gotchas that could cost you your entire rebate. Red flag number one, the assignment trap. If you're looking at an assignment sale where you're buying the contract from someone else before the building is finished, be extremely careful. The original person signed that contract before March the 20th cutoff. You might not get the new rebate, even if you are a first-time buyer. The CRA often looks at the original date, so don't assume you are safe just because you're the one moving in. Red flag number two, the primary residence audit. The CRA is going to be watching this stuff like a hawk to keep that $50,000 or at least up to $50,000. You or a close family member must use your home as your primary residence. If you buy the place, claim the rebate, and then immediately list it to rent or to sell it 6 months later, the government could come knocking at your door for that $50,000 back with interest. They want to help homeowners, not investors. Red flag number three, co-signing complications. This is a big one for our generation. If your parents are co-signing to help you get the mortgage, but they already own a home, it can get really messy. And depending on how they are put onto the title, it could potentially disqualify you or shrink your rebate. And you really need to talk with your lawyer about how to structure that title so you don't lose your $50,000 just because mom and dad helped you out. And red flag number four, the 90% test for renovation. The law mentions that this also applies to substantially renovated properties, but substantial doesn't mean a new kitchen and some flooring. The CRA usually requires that 90% or more of the interior be removed or replaced. And basically you're gutting the whole house to the studs. Anything less than that, and they'll likely reject your claim. Look, I know the market is intimidating. I know it feels like the goalposts keep moving, but finding wins like this is how we actually make home ownership happen. You're going to want to check out that blog on my website and go check out that calculator on the site. Read the blog if you want more of a deep dive, and let me know in the comments of this video if you have any questions. We're all just figuring this out together as we kind of learn more about it. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe because this channel is all about keeping you updated on the neighborhoods of South Surrey, White Rock, and all of the changes in BC real estate. We've got some incredible videos coming up in the next few weeks, ones that you really don't want to miss, just like the one coming up next. It's one of our most popular videos where we dug in and explained all of the massive provincial mandated changes to zoning that nailed homeowners all across the province. This is going to significantly flip our neighborhoods upside down and change the way that we think about building communities. If you're not even sure what I'm talking about, or if you're unfamiliar with the changes, you're not going to want to miss this. And the good news is that video is coming up right now. The residents of this neighborhood don't know it yet, but this neighborhood is going to be completely upended over the coming years about new zoning regulations that are taking effect all across British Columbia.